Have you ever glanced at your steaming bowl of oatmeal in the morning and felt certain you were making the perfect choice for your heart and waistline? Many seniors feel this way, convinced that oatmeal is a cornerstone of a healthy start to the day. The truth is, oatmeal can be fantastic on its own, but pairing it with the wrong foods may be quietly undermining your efforts to stay strong and energized after 60. Let's take a closer look at 5 surprising items that can turn that seemingly wholesome bowl into an unexpected source of sugar spikes, inflammation, and fatigue. And, more importantly, explore how small tweaks can improve your mornings without robbing you of flavor. When we talk about oatmeal, it's natural to assume that something so hearty and rich in fiber should always be good news. After all, oats supply important nutrients like B vitamins, magnesium, and a decent dose of soluble fiber that supports healthy digestion. Yet oatmeal, as nutritious as it might be, remains a carbohydrate-heavy food. Without thoughtful balancing, it can send your blood sugar into a roller coaster ride you weren't intending to board. This becomes especially relevant for seniors, whose metabolism and insulin sensitivity may not be as robust as they were a few decades ago. One major offender is orange juice. Many people, particularly those who grew up associating a complete breakfast with a tall glass of citrusy goodness, are still hanging on to that routine. It's easy to think, how could pure orange juice be anything but beneficial? The issue lies in the sugar concentration and the absence of the fiber you'd otherwise get from a whole piece of fruit. When you juice oranges, you're left with fructose that absorbs swiftly. Combine that quick sugar with the carbs in oatmeal, and you might experience a spike in blood glucose followed by a mid-morning crash. That's not helpful if you're a senior trying to maintain stable energy for errands, socializing, or light exercise. Let's say you've been sipping orange juice daily with oatmeal and occasionally notice sudden fatigue or an odd sense of shakiness before lunchtime. You might chalk it up to the normal aches and pains of aging, but the culprit could be that sugary beverage. This second trap many older adults fall into involves flavored yogurt or sweetened non-dairy milks. Maybe you've poured vanilla almond milk over your oats, believing you're making a lighter, dairy-free choice. Or you've plopped a big spoonful of strawberry-flavored yogurt on top to enhance taste and protein. On the surface, it feels healthful. In reality, these products often harbor sneaky sugars. Even organic or light versions may contain cane sugar, agave syrup, or other sweeteners that add up quickly. And for seniors mindful of blood sugar or inflammation, those small additions can lead to big consequences. Although a bit of sweetness can be pleasant, repeated exposure to these high-sugar extras each morning can influence your waistline, your cholesterol levels, and your insulin sensitivity. You may even sense that your knees ache more, or that you can't focus as well as you used to. Processed meats, such as bacon or sausage, sneak into oatmeal breakfasts more often than one might think. Sometimes people believe that adding a side of bacon provides a savory counterbalance to the carbs in oats, aiming for what they see as a balanced meal. The problem is that bacon and sausage often include nitrates, nitrites, added sugars, and a hefty dose of sodium, all of which can contribute to elevated blood pressure, water retention, and systemic inflammation. Seniors who already grapple with joint discomfort or cardiovascular concerns may find these issues intensify if they keep processed meats in regular rotation. There's an alternative. If you crave savory flavors, consider sprinkling your oatmeal with a dash of spices like turmeric or cayenne pepper, known for their potential to lower inflammation. Or incorporate a small portion of lean, unprocessed protein, perhaps leftover chicken or turkey you've seasoned yourself. That way, you still get the savory fix without the stealthy damage processed meats can inflict on your day-to-day comfort. A fourth surprise hazard for oatmeal lovers is dried fruit. It's common to see pictures of perfectly styled oatmeal bowls brimming with dried cranberries, raisins, or even dried apricots. They look delicious and bring a sweet tang to the dish. The trouble is that drying fruit removes most of its water content, condensing the sugar into a smaller, more potent punch. Suddenly, A handful of raisins might contain as much sugar as a large portion of fresh fruit would have. If you're a senior hoping to guard your blood sugar, these condensed sugar bombs may sabotage your morning. Some manufacturers also coat dried fruit with extra sweeteners or oils, further complicating the nutritional picture. Substituting fresh berries, which contain antioxidants and fiber, can spare you from that sugar surge. Fresh berries also have a lower glycemic impact, meaning they raise your blood sugar more slowly. A welcome effect if you're trying to preserve energy and mental clarity throughout the day. The fifth issue arises with sweeteners such as brown sugar, maple syrup, or honey. You know, a lot of seniors who eat oatmeal do so for its potential cholesterol-lowering benefits or its heart-friendly fiber. But sprinkling sugar or squirting syrup on top kinda defeats the purpose of controlling sugar intake. Even honey, which is natural, can quickly tip your meal into the high sugar zone. While these sweeteners might taste wonderful, they can spike glucose levels when paired with oatmeal's carbs. Some older adults notice that they feel a burst of energy right after breakfast, only to slump into fatigue an hour or two later. This cycle is especially taxing on an aging body that might not handle insulin as effectively as it once did. If you crave sweetness, consider options like cinnamon or a tiny amount of fruit for a subtle sugary note, which might be enough to satisfy your taste buds without sending your glucose through the roof. You can also look for all-natural, zero-calorie sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit, which won't have the same strong effect on your blood sugar. What are some practical ways to reshape your oatmeal breakfast into something senior-friendly and genuinely supportive? For one thing, you can adopt a simpler approach. Consider cooking your oatmeal in water or unsweetened almond milk, then stirring in extras that are low in sugar but high in fiber and protein. Chia seeds, for example, provide a unique gel-like fiber that helps moderate digestion, which can keep your glucose levels more stable. Eggs can also fit into a senior's morning routine, either eaten on the side or mixed into savory oats for a protein boost. Adding half an avocado can introduce healthy fats, while chopped mushrooms sautéed with a little butter supply extra vitamins and a meaty texture without processed chemicals. If you prefer fresh flavors, toss in leafy greens like arugula or a sprinkle of parsley near the end of cooking. It might sound unconventional, but savory oatmeal can be surprisingly satisfying and can keep you full for longer. That's especially key for seniors who want to avoid mid-morning hunger pangs that lead to grazing on sugary snacks. While we're on the subject of modifying your daily diet, it's helpful to remember that some foods come with almost zero carbs or sugars. Incorporating these alongside oatmeal can smooth out glucose spikes. Think about eggs, which contain no carbohydrates but do offer complete proteins and nutrients like choline and B vitamins. Sautéed arugula or cruciferous vegetables, though not typical breakfast fare for everyone, can provide plenty of vitamins without pushing your carbohydrate load too high. If you do want a meaty side, you might reach for grass-fed beef or lamb leftovers, or have a small portion of salmon to provide healthy omega-3 fats. These additions can make oatmeal the side dish, rather than the main event, effectively balancing your macros. Seniors who shift their perspective in this way often find that they feel more sustained energy, fewer aches, and a more positive mood throughout the day. Making changes doesn't mean you have to give up all your favorite flavors. You might simply need to reduce portion sizes of the items that cause issues. For instance, if you love sweetened almond milk, try mixing half sweetened with half unsweetened to gradually wean yourself off the extra sugar. If you can't imagine oatmeal without that swirl of honey or a drizzle of maple syrup, start cutting back little by little, or only treat yourself to a half teaspoon, focusing on mixing it thoroughly so each bite tastes slightly sweet. That way, your palate can adapt over time, allowing you to appreciate the natural creaminess of oats or the tang of fresh fruit. Some seniors are shocked at how quickly they get used to less sugar. After a few weeks of modest changes, overly sweet oatmeal from a coffee shop or restaurant might begin to taste cloying. You may also benefit from paying close attention to the type of oats you buy. Steel-cut oats or old-fashioned rolled oats tend to be less processed than quick oats, offering a steadier release of carbohydrates. This difference can reduce the likelihood of sudden blood sugar spikes, particularly if you're mindful of what else is on the plate. Seniors who prefer convenience might still choose quick oats, but could add a spoonful of chia seeds or ground flax seeds to slow digestion. The small addition of fiber from those seeds can dampen a glucose surge. Pairing a moderate oatmeal portion with healthy fats and proteins is the best strategy to keep your breakfast from being a blood sugar roller coaster ride. The main takeaway is that you don't have to eliminate oatmeal. You just want to be strategic about what goes with it in your bowl or on the side. Another important point is how these oatmeal pairings influence heart health. Seniors are often concerned about cholesterol, blood pressure, and other cardiovascular markers. Oatmeal is frequently touted for its fiber, which can help reduce LDL cholesterol. But if you bury it beneath sugary toppings or processed meats high in sodium, you might offset some of that advantage. Over time, you may struggle to keep your blood pressure in check, or your doctor might observe that your cholesterol numbers aren't improving as you had hoped. By avoiding the 5 problematic foods, orange juice, flavored yogurt, or sweetened plant milks, processed meats, dried fruit, and sugary sweeteners, you align your oatmeal habit more closely with truly heart-healthy principles. You also give yourself a better shot at regulating weight, maintaining stable mood, and protecting cognitive function. Seniors who've lived many years with a so-so diet can still benefit significantly from these adjustments. People sometimes wonder if fruit is inherently bad, especially after hearing about the perils of dried fruit or large glasses of juice. Fresh whole fruits can absolutely be beneficial. Berries, in particular, are known for their robust antioxidant content and moderate sugar levels. Apples, pears, or peaches with the skin on also supply fiber that helps slow sugar absorption. The difference is that a glass of juice, or a handful of dried fruit, lacks that helpful fiber or water content. The fiber in whole fruit helps keep blood sugar more consistent and fosters a feeling of fullness. For seniors wanting to keep weight in check, that's important. With fruit, portion control is still key. Even a fresh banana can pack a fair amount of carbs, so combining half a banana with some protein, like an egg or nuts, can soften the effect on your bloodstream. The main idea is to build a balanced plate, or bowl, that supports stable energy rather than dramatic spikes. Some older adults worry that these changes will complicate their morning routine, but they don't have to. A few small modifications, like swapping sweetened milk for unsweetened, choosing fresh berries over dried cranberries, or sprinkling cinnamon instead of sugar, can be enough to shift your entire metabolic response. Instead of relying on processed meats for protein, you could add an egg or two on the side, or stir in seeds that offer healthy fats and some extra texture. If you're pressed for time, you can prepare steel-cut oats in bulk, store them in the fridge, and heat up a single serving each morning. That approach can also make it simpler to experiment with different toppings. One day, you might do a savory spin with avocado and a pinch of salt. The next day, maybe you add unsweetened Greek yogurt and frozen blueberries. Simple meal prep habits like this free you from rushing through the decision-making process when you're hungry. Some seniors used to think feeling slowed down was just a natural part of aging, accepting mid-morning fatigue, sluggish afternoons, and gradual waistline expansion as inevitable. However, when they examined their daily routines closely, particularly at breakfast, they found that small changes in their oatmeal habits could lead to renewed vitality. By cleaning up what they pair with oatmeal, avoiding high-sugar items like orange juice-flavored yogurt, sweetened plant-based milks, processed meats, dried fruit, and sugary sweeteners, these older adults discovered a calmer metabolic start to their day, which in turn improved their energy, concentration, and even exercise tolerance. They learned that while occasional indulgences might still occur, being mindful and balancing the overall carb load can transform a routine meal into one that truly supports healthy aging, reduces inflammation, and keeps blood sugar stable. Furthermore, integrating foods with almost no carbs or sugars, such as eggs, arugula, cruciferous vegetables, and wild-caught salmon, into their breakfasts helps bolster muscle mass, brain function, and sustained energy, enabling them to better enjoy the activities they love without unnecessary health complications. As they reassess their morning routines, these seniors realize that the key isn't to abandon oatmeal altogether, but to scrutinize every topping and mix-in, asking whether that choice fuels their well-being or quietly undermines it. Because the small decisions made at sunrise can ripple through the entire day, significantly affecting how they feel, move, and live.